Doomsday, the ultimate DC villain. He's the one who killed Superman, the Man of Steel. He's a monster, a creature of pure destruction, but he's also fascinating. How did he come to be? What makes him so unstoppable? In this video, we're going to explore every single Doomsday variant in the DC universe, from comics to live-action movies and TV shows. We're going to take a deep dive into this iconic villain, but be warned, Doomsday is not for the faint of heart. He's a brutal, unforgiving creature. On top of that, he is more than just a mindless beast. He's a product of science gone wrong, a creature created by a mad scientist to be the ultimate weapon, and he succeeded. So, let's get started and explore the darkest corners of the DC universe. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Doomsday variants, unleashing the end across DC Comics. Doomsday New Earth. Doomsday of New Earth is the original Doomsday, and the one that killed Superman. He was created by Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding, and first appeared in Superman, the Man of Steel number 17, November 1992. He is a genetically engineered creature from Krypton, who was designed to be the perfect killing machine. He is incredibly strong, fast, and durable, and he can also rapidly adapt to any threat. He is also driven by a single-minded desire to destroy. He was created by the Kryptonian scientist Bertrand, who was obsessed with creating the perfect killing machine. He traveled to Earth, where he began his rampage. He quickly defeated the Justice League, and he eventually killed Superman in battle. However, Superman was resurrected by the sun, and he eventually defeated Doomsday. He has continued to plague Superman and the Justice League over the years. He is one of the most dangerous villains in the DC universe, and he is always a threat to the world. Devastator. Devastator is a Doomsday variant from the Dark Multiverse. He is a fusion of Doomsday and Batman, and he possesses all of their powers and abilities. He was first introduced in the Dark Knight's Metal storyline. On Earth 1, Bruce Wayne, also known as Batman, teamed up with Superman and the Justice League. He admired Superman's message of hope and kept a powerful weapon called the Doomsday Virus, just in case. But things took a dark turn when Superman went on a violent spree, even killing his own wife. Despite their efforts, Batman and the League couldn't stop him. When Batman tried to use a kryptonite spear against Superman, he lost his arm. Superman, now a power-crazed villain, mocked Batman and everyone else for being weaker. In a desperate move, Batman took the Doomsday Virus. It transformed him, giving him the strength to defeat Superman, but at a terrible cost, his own life. After defeating Superman, the Doomsday Virus spread, dooming his world. Batman, now called Devastator, watched as everything crumbled. Dr. Doomsday. Dr. Doomsday is a Doomsday variant from Earth 496. He is a fusion of Doomsday and Dr. Doom, so naturally he is a brilliant scientist and a skilled sorcerer, making him a particularly dangerous threat. He was created by the Justice Lord Lex Luthor, an alternate version of Lex Luthor who had become a dictator after killing Superman. So, how did he come to be? Victor Von Doom was the head scientist for Project Cadmus. While the future challengers of the Fantastic kept an eye on developments from a space shuttle, he participated in cosmic ray shielding experiments from a safe base on Earth. When the shuttle crashed on Earth, Von Doom removed the shielding and took off, since he didn't want his companions to get all the attention. Dr. Von Doom was driven by a desperate desire to discover the genetic code of the speed demon defeated Doomsday, a monster that had fallen to Earth. Bizarro Doomsday. Bizarro Doomsday is a Doomsday variant that was created when Bizarro was exposed to kryptonite. Bizarro Doomsday is even stronger and more durable than the original Doomsday, and he is also immune to kryptonite, unlike the original Doomsday. The story began with Bizarro and Superman investigating a strange meteor that had crashed on Earth. The meteor was emitting a strange form of kryptonite that was different from any that Superman had ever seen before. Bizarro exposed himself to the kryptonite, and he was immediately transformed into a Doomsday-like creature. The transformed Bizarro was incredibly strong and durable, and he was also immune to Superman's heat vision. He quickly defeated Superman and began to terrorize the city, and Superman was forced to team up with Lex Luthor to defeat the transformed Bizarro. Funnily enough, this Doomsday gained power from kryptonite rather than being allergic to it. Super Doom. Superman and his friends fought Doomsday, who had escaped from the Phantom Zone. In the 2014 crossover comic Superman Doomed, when Superman discovered that Doomsday was causing chaos and carrying a dangerous toxin within himself, he had to stop him. He ripped Doomsday in half and used his super breath to breathe in the toxin, preventing it from spreading further. However, an unexpected problem arose as Superman began turning into a Doomsday-like creature. Despite Wonder Woman's attempts to help him, the transformation kept getting worse, so Superman had to make a tough choice. He turned himself into the authorities and was put in a special facility, but he was needed by the Teen Titans to fight a powerful enemy, so he had to come out of confinement. In his increasingly monstrous state, he defeated the enemies without mercy, something that Superman would not have done had he not been converted. Later, Steel tried to help Superman in the fight, but a kryptonite attack by Metallo made Superman weaker and sped up his transformation into Super Doom. Super Doom, Earth 45. Super Doom, a contemporary DC Comics supervillain introduced in 2012 as a nemesis of Superman, operated both as an individual threat and a member of the anti-Superman army led by Dr. Zadu. Within this alliance, Super Doom associated with other antagonists like Nimrod, the Hunter, and Vindicativix. Super Doom's malevolent journey spanned across various alternate Earths, where it eliminated other Supermen and Superman-like figures, striving to establish itself as the one and only Superman. Its victims included Optiman from Earth 36 and the Chibi Superman of Earth 42. Eventually, it reached Earth 23, where it confronted its creators and inflicted fatal injuries on Jimmy while gravely harming Clark. Fortunately, the Superman of Earth 23 formed an unusual alliance with Lex Luthor, temporarily trapping the monster between dimensions to halt its destructive rampage. Nonetheless, that didn't mark the end of Super Doom. Ultimately, it was summoned to Prime Earth, unwittingly by Lex Luthor, under Vindicativix's guidance, to serve as a catastrophic weapon against Superman, joining other members of the Revenge Squad in this final showdown. Doomsday. This is a fun one. Doomsday presents a unique twist on the classic Doomsday concept, offering a fresh take on this iconic DC Comics villain. She works with the Injustice League on Prime Earth and possesses many of the same abilities as the original Doomsday, but there are some notable differences that set her apart. One of the key differences with Doomsday is her appearance. While Doomsday typically has a monstrous and almost skeletal appearance, Doomsday is portrayed as a female character with a more humanoid and less grotesque look. This contrast in design adds a new layer to her character and makes her visually distinct. Another one of her major attributes is that she is not driven by a single-minded desire to destroy. Instead, she is more interested in self-preservation and in finding her place in the world. There isn't much known about her, but she does seem a little smarter than an average Doomsday. Doombreaker. Lloyd Creighton was a witness to the death of Superman and played a role in cleaning up the aftermath in Metropolis following the defeat of Doomsday. During this cleanup, he kept a fragment of Doomsday's bone as a memento in his home. Over the years, this bone emitted a vapor that gradually transformed him into a Doomsday-like creature, driven by the same intense hatred for Kryptonians that Doomsday possessed. Creighton attacked Superman. Fortunately, the Man of Steel managed to restore him to his normal state. Initially, it seemed like Lloyd had made a full recovery, but his physical health rapidly declined, leading to his admission to Star Labs for medical treatment. There, he fell into a coma unexpectedly. In a surprising turn of events, Lloyd later regained consciousness and, driven by instinct, traced the bone fragment's location across the continental United States, from Metropolis to California, where John Kent had taken it. During this journey, he partially reverted to his Doombreaker form. Fyodora Cullen. DC Comics Bombshells was a limited comic book series featuring alternate versions of DC Comics characters set in a World War II-inspired universe. A version of Doomsday known as Fyora Hu-All posed the greatest threat to the heroes towards the very end of the first season of the series. She was created by a combination of mad science and black magic. There are a few possible explanations of her method of conversion. One possibility is that Fyodora was exposed to Doomsday's DNA, either intentionally or accidentally. This would have caused her to transform into a Doomsday-like creature. However, one thing is for sure, Fyodora's transformation into Doomsday was a traumatic experience. She was transformed into a creature that she could not control, and she was driven by a single-minded desire to destroy. All-American boy Josh Walker, a regular farm boy from Kansas, decided to join the Army after finishing college. He thought he was signing up for a program to protect against bioweapons. However, he got tricked. Instead, they merged his DNA with an alien monster called Doomsday. Amanda Waller, the leader of Checkmate, used kryptonite to do this. When the transformation was done, Josh lost his humanity, and he looked like Doomsday, but with kryptonite spikes instead of bony protrusions. They called him the All-American Boy, and made him part of a group called the Last Line. Their job was to defend the United States in case Superman ever turned bad. Superman and Batman discovered the Last Line's secret base while trying to get rid of all the kryptonite in the world. They fought the All-American Boy, causing a lot of damage in Kansas. Meanwhile, Batman found Josh's parents and brought them to him. When the All-American Boy saw his parents, it triggered a memory, and he stopped attacking. Walker is not like an average Doomsday, though. He doesn't want destruction. He is more interested in finding his place in the world and in controlling his own destiny. Doomstroke. Doomstroke, Doomsday's variant, is a character from the DC Comics Amalgam universe. He is a fusion of the characters Deathstroke and Doomsday. He first appeared in Superman/Batman number 60. He was created through a scientific experiment gone wrong. Some unknown villain mixed Doomsday's DNA with someone else's to create him. Doomstroke shares some powers with the original Doomsday. He's incredibly strong, almost indestructible, and can adapt quickly in a fight. But what makes Doomstroke unique is his cool armor. He wears a high-tech suit that makes him even tougher. The suit has sharp weapons attached, making him a real powerhouse in fights. He is also a skilled fighter and tactician. He is also equipped with a variety of weapons and gadgets, including a powerful energy cannon and a suit of armor that enhances his strength and durability. Jimmy as Doomsday. In All-Star Superman number 4, Jimmy Olsen is on a tour of Project, a secret government facility that is researching Doomsday. Jimmy accidentally falls into a portal to the Underverse, where he is exposed to Doomsday's DNA. Jimmy is transformed into a Doomsday variant, and he begins to attack the Project facility. He is eventually defeated by Superman, but he is not killed. Instead, he is returned to the Underverse. As a Doomsday variant, Jimmy Olsen possesses all of Doomsday's powers and abilities. He is incredibly strong, durable, and has powerful regenerative abilities. He is also immune to Superman's heat vision. Jimmy Olsen's transformation into a Doomsday variant is a brief but memorable event in All-Star Superman. It is a reminder that even the most innocent of people can be corrupted by evil, and it is also a cautionary tale about the dangers of scientific experimentation. Doomed. In Convergence, Superman number 2, Riser is an ordinary individual from Prime Earth. However, during the events of the Convergence storyline, he is subjected to a process that merges his DNA with that of the fearsome Doomsday. As a result of this transformation, Riser gains some of the signature abilities associated with Doomsday. These powers typically include incredible strength, near invulnerability, and rapid adaptation to threats. He also adopts a physical appearance reminiscent of Doomsday, often characterized by sharp protrusions and a menacing demeanor. Riser's role in the storyline often involves confrontations with Superman and other characters, as his newfound powers and aggression make him a powerful opponent, even though he is not inherently evil. The comic explores the challenges and conflicts arising from Riser's transformation into a Doomsday variant and how it affects the broader Convergence storyline. Doomsboy. Doomsboy came into existence when a villain named Bedlam tried to erase Superboy from history by messing with the past. Bedlam tampered with a project called Project Cadmus, which was trying to understand Superman's special DNA after he died. Since they couldn't clone Superman, they decided to clone Doomsday instead. They ended up making 2 clones: Doomsboy, a really smart copy of Doomsday, and Connell, who was like Superboy but without any superpowers. Doomsday was raised by a man named Paul Westfield, who treated him like his own son, but they didn't care much about Connell, who was considered Doomsboy's little brother. Doomsboy was trained to become the new Superman, and he eventually did. People all around the world thought of him as the new Superman because he did heroic things. However, secretly, Doomsboy didn't like the legacy he had taken on. As time passed, Doomsboy changed. He started doing bad things and demanded money from companies to keep them safe. This was very different from what Superman would do, and it made people question whether he was a hero or a villain. Unlike Doomsday, this dude actually has sentience, so he can feel human emotions like greed and empathy. Doomslayer. Doomslayer was made by Lex Luthor as part of his plan to distract Superman. Luthor wanted to create a powerful being that would be able to occupy Superman's time and attention, while Luthor himself carried out his evil plans. Doomslayer was created using DNA from Doomsday and a human being. He was initially kept in a containment chamber at Lex Luthor's LexCorp facility. However, he eventually escaped and went on a rampage. He was later defeated by Superman, but not before he had caused a lot of damage. As a Doomsday variant, Doomslayer possessed all of Doomsday's powers and abilities. He is incredibly strong, durable, and has powerful regenerative abilities. He is also immune to Superman's heat vision. In addition to Doomsday's powers, Doomslayer also possesses some of Superman's powers. He has superhuman strength, speed, and durability. He can also fly. Cryptothrax. The true Doomsday. Kal-El, Dark Multiverse, Dark Knight's Metal, Doomsday's variant, also known as Cryptothrax, was created by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, and first appeared in Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Dark Knight's Metal #1. In the Dark Multiverse, Kal-El was transformed into Doomsday by the Batman Who Laughs, a twisted version of Batman from a dark reality. The Batman Who Laughs corrupted the Kryptonian ship that brought Kal-El to Earth, and as a result, Kal-El was exposed to Doomsday's DNA. Cryptothrax is a massive, monstrous creature with Doomsday's strength, durability, and regenerative abilities. He is also incredibly intelligent and cunning. In addition to Doomsday's powers, Cryptothrax also possesses some of Superman's powers, such as flight and super breath. However, Cryptothrax's super breath is not as powerful as Superman's. Doomsday. Flashpoint Timeline. In the Flashpoint Timeline, Doomsday is a special character from the Booster Gold Volume 2, number 44 comics. In this alternate reality, Doomsday's story is quite different from the usual one. In this world, scientists were trying to create super-powered soldiers for the government, but something went terribly wrong, and they accidentally made Doomsday a monstrous and uncontrollable creature. Doomsday escaped from Cyborg's laboratory and went on a rampage. He killed several people including Cyborg himself. Doomsday was eventually defeated by Booster Gold, who used a time machine to travel back in time and prevent Cyborg from creating Doomsday. The Flashpoint Doomsday is incredibly strong, almost indestructible, and can adapt quickly in fights, making him quite dangerous. Doomsday's role in the Flashpoint timeline is to serve as a symbol of the world's descent into chaos and despair. He becomes a living weapon of mass destruction, causing widespread devastation and posing a significant threat to the remaining heroes and humanity. Doomzaro. Doomzaro is a twisted version of Superman from Earth-29, a world where everything is bizarro. He was created when a Doomsday from Earth-0 crash-landed on Earth-29 and infected the bizarro Superman. Doomzaro possesses all of Superman's and Doomsday's powers and abilities, making him one of the most powerful villains in the multiverse. He has superhuman strength, speed, durability, flight, heat vision, X-ray vision, freeze breath, superhuman regenerative abilities, and immunity to Superman's heat vision. He is even the leader of the Bizarro Justice League, a team of bizarro versions of the Justice League. He is also really smart and always one step ahead of his opponents. What makes him scary? Well, he is a combination of Superman's power and Doomsday's brutality. He is a threat to even the most powerful superheroes. Alfred Pennyworth. Alfred Pennyworth was created by Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham, and first appeared in Batman/Superman Volume 2, Number 16, March 2021. In an alternate world, Martha Wayne survived Crime Alley and took on a life of crime, with her butler Alfred Pennyworth acting as her enforcer. Alfred was exposed to a sample of Doomsday's blood, which gave him superhuman strength, durability, and regenerative abilities. He also became immune to Superman's heat vision. Alfred Pennyworth's transformation into a Doomsday variant had a profound impact on his personality. He became more aggressive and violent, and he was willing to do whatever it took to protect Martha Wayne and her criminal empire. Talk about having an ideal boyfriend. He was also a master of disguise and infiltration, much like the original Alfred. He was a twisted version of a beloved character, and he possessed incredible power. Alfred Pennyworth is a reminder that even the most trusted allies can be corrupted by evil. Doomthor. Doomthor was created by Lex Luthor in his quest to create a weapon powerful enough to defeat Superman. Luthor used DNA from Doomsday, known for its immense strength and durability, and combined it with the DNA of Lex Luthor himself. The result was a massive, monstrous creature with Doomsday's powers and abilities, as well as Luthor's intelligence and cunning. He was released from Luthor's laboratory and went feral. He defeated several superheroes, including Superman himself. However, Doomthor was eventually defeated by Luthor, who used a special weapon to exploit his weakness to kryptonite. But what makes Doomthor special is that he's a mix of Doomsday's scary looks and some fancy technology from Lex Luthor. This combination gives him a unique appearance, making him stand out in the comic. This is just a retelling of what happens when you fly too close to the sun. In other news, aren't you glad that this one doesn't have Doomsday and Thor's abilities? Rather, it's just Luthor's child. Doomsday Vehicle. In Superman number 653, a rather unconventional character known as Doomsday the Vehicle makes its debut. This unique variant of Doomsday takes a decidedly different form from the fearsome creature we're accustomed to. The origin story of this usual character stems from the genius and creativity of the comic book world. Doomsday the Vehicle is a sentient, crystalline starship created by Lex Luthor using Doomsday's DNA and Kryptonian technology. It possesses all of Doomsday's powers and abilities, as well as a variety of advanced weapons and technology. In addition to Doomsday's powers, Doomsday the Vehicle is also equipped with a variety of advanced weapons and technology, including a powerful energy cannon, a force field, a teleportation system, and a self-repair system. It's like a robot doctor gone rogue, except it only cares about destroying others and healing its own body. Doomsday, Tiny Titans. Alright guys, this is a cute one, we promise. In the comic book Superman Family Adventures number 11, this cute monster is quite different from the usual scary Doomsday. This version of Doomsday is adorable and funny, fitting in with the light and humorous style of the Tiny Titans comics. The story behind Doomsday is all about fun. Instead of being a big and scary villain, he's just cute. He looks like the regular Doomsday with his pointy bones and green skin, but he's not there to cause trouble. He is more interested in funny and silly things than destruction. He often gets into situations with other characters from the DC Comics world, especially the young heroes and villains. He sometimes loses his temper really quickly, because he still has some of the original Doomsday's traits. But otherwise, he's a pretty chill dude. This version of Doomsday shows that even the toughest and scariest characters can have a playful and fun side, especially in the world of Tiny Titans where everything is a bit lighter and more cheerful. Let's talk about the live-action appearance of Doomsday now. Doomsday. Smallville. This one is a new concept, since Doomsday himself finds a human host for him to live in. Davis Bloom is a fictional character in the American television series Smallville, portrayed by Sam Witwer. He is a Doomsday variant, and the main antagonist of the 6th season of the show. Davis Bloom was adopted by a family in Kansas, but he was raised in an abusive household. At the age of 12, Davis discovered that he had a split personality, and he began to transform into a monstrous creature known as Doomsday. Davis Bloom first appeared in the 6th season of Smallville as a paramedic in Metropolis. He quickly developed a romantic relationship with Chloe Sullivan, but he also began to transform into Doomsday on a regular basis. Doomsday eventually killed Chloe's father, and Chloe confronted him. Doomsday revealed that he was Davis Bloom, and that he was unable to control his transformations. Chloe convinced Davis to accept his dark side, and they began to work together to protect Metropolis from other threats. In the season finale, Doomsday was killed by Clark Kent, but Davis Bloom was revived. He and Chloe left Metropolis to start a new life together. Doomsday, DC Extended Universe. This variant of Doomsday appeared in the 2016 American superhero film Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. He was created by Zack Snyder, David S. Goyer, and Chris Terrio, and was portrayed by Doomsday actor Robin Atkin Downe. In the film, Doomsday is created by Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, as part of his plan to defeat Superman, Henry Cavill. Luthor uses Kryptonian technology to genetically engineer a creature from the remains of General Zod, Michael Shannon, the Kryptonian general who was defeated by Superman in Man of Steel. Yet again, Doomsday possesses all of Superman's powers and abilities, including superhuman strength, speed, durability, flight, heat vision, X-ray vision, freeze breath, and superhuman regenerative abilities. Doomsday is released by Luthor during a battle between Superman and Batman, Ben Affleck. The creature quickly proves to be a match for both superheroes, and he nearly kills Superman. However, Batman is able to sacrifice himself to weaken Doomsday, and Superman is finally able to defeat the creature with the help of Lois Lane, Amy Adams. Doomsday Sci-Fi's Krypton. Dax Baron was born on Krypton 1,000 years before the events of the series. He was a member of the Sagittari, a Kryptonian military order. Dax Baron was chosen by the House of El and the House of Zod to volunteer for an experiment that would make him invulnerable to harm. The experiment was a success, but it also transformed Dax Baron into a monstrous creature. Dax Baron was initially kept in captivity by the House of El. However, he was eventually released by Seg-El, Cameron Cuff, in order to help defeat Brainiac, Blake Ritson. Dax Baron helped Seg-El and his allies defeat Brainiac, but he was killed in the process. Dax Baron was a tragic figure. This intelligence set Dax Baron apart from the original Doomsday character in the comics, who is usually depicted as a relentless and mindless force of destruction. In Krypton, Dax Baron struggled with his identity and the destructive nature he was created with. He was a good man who was transformed into a monster by scientific experimentation. Doomsday, DCAU. In the DCAU's Superman, the animated series, Doomsday is a fearsome villain brought to life by actor Michael Jai White's voice. Doomsday's story in the DCAU is similar to the comics. He was created on Krypton by a scientist named Bertrand, who subjected a baby to a brutal experiment, repeatedly killing and reviving it under harsh conditions. This process eventually produced Doomsday, an unstoppable force. His appearance in the DCAU faithfully mirrors his comic book look. He's a massive, monstrous figure with sharp bones sticking out. Michael Jai White's voice adds depth to the character, giving him a menacing presence. Doomsday's arrival in Superman, the animated series, poses a major threat to Superman and the world. It leads to crazy battles between the two, showcasing the DCAU's ability to depict intense action sequences and the ongoing conflict between the characters. Doomsday, Superman Doomsday, is a variant created by the Kryptonian scientist Bertrand. He is an ancient Kryptonian monster with a variety of superhuman powers, including superhuman strength, durability, regenerative abilities, immunity to Superman's heat vision, and superhuman intelligence. Doomsday is the main antagonist of Superman Doomsday. He is one of the most powerful villains that Superman has ever faced, and he nearly kills him in their first battle. However, Superman is able to defeat Doomsday with the help of his friends and family. Bruce Timm is an American animator, producer, director, and writer who gave life to this character. Doomsday's superhuman strength is incredible, even surpassing Superman's. He is able to lift and throw objects that weigh millions of tons, and he can punch through solid concrete with ease. Doomsday is also virtually indestructible. He is able to withstand blows from Superman, and he is immune to most forms of harm. Doomsday's regenerative abilities are also incredible. He is able to heal from even the most serious injuries in a matter of seconds. And Doomsday is immune to Superman's heat vision, which is one of the Man of Steel's most powerful weapons. Doomsday and the Death of Superman. Doomsday from the Death of Superman is a Doomsday variant from the DC animated movie universe. Doomsday was voiced by Adam Baldwin in the animated film, and he subjected a Kryptonian baby to a series of experiments that made him incredibly powerful and durable. However, the experiments also drove the baby insane, and he became known as Doomsday. Doomsday was eventually exiled from Apokolips, and he spent centuries wandering the galaxy, destroying everything in his path. He eventually arrived on Earth, where he was confronted by Superman. He even surpasses Superman's strength. He is able to lift and throw objects that weigh millions of tons, and he can punch through solid concrete with ease. On top of that, he is virtually indestructible. He is able to withstand blows from Superman, and he is immune to most forms of harm. He is one of the few beings who is able to challenge Superman on an equal footing, and he eventually kills the Man of Steel in a brutal battle. Marvelous verdict. Well, there you have it. 30 different variants of Doomsday. We hope you enjoyed the journey through the Doomsday verse. As you can see, Doomsday is a versatile villain. He can be big, small, smart, dumb, good, or evil. He can even be a baby. But no matter how he comes in, Doomsday is always a threat. So, if you ever see a Doomsday variant, be careful. He might be the strongest, most durable, and most regenerative creature in the universe. But he might also be a bit of a goofball. Remember, if you ever see a Doomsday variant, run. The dude literally has Doom in his name, except if it's Doomsday, the vehicle. Running will not spare you there. Also, have you ever thought that if he celebrated his birthday, he'd probably call it Doomsday? Anyway, let's not get distracted. We hope you liked knowing about Doomsday and his many variants. If you enjoyed our video, make sure to give us a thumbs up. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.